and welcome back to South Beach Fitness. Here we are on part 2 of our 3-part series of Way to Cut the Carbs. Yes, we're still talking about cutting the carbs because I know it's such a big thing in everybody's life, because like I said, carbs are a part of everything, and knowing the good carbs from the bad carbs, the simple carbs from the complex carbs, it's like mind-blowing. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy. So I'm here to help you along the way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about going thin with the buns, the rolls, the bagels. Yes, so I know these are still things that we love, things that we want to be a part of our lives, but we need to cut back on them. And we need to get rid of them altogether in these white starchy forms. But let's take it slow. I did mention in our last video that you can swap it out for lettuce. So you can do lettuce on your burgers as your buns. You can do lettuce as your taco shell, which is now called a lettuce wrap. Or you can go thin. So there are a lot of brands and companies out there that offer thin versions. So they're about like this thick, and you know, like it's like thin buns or thin rolls or thin bagels. If you don't want to get thin bagels, you can like take the bread out of the middle. I know a lot of people do that. But let's just think of some alternatives and some ways where we can cut the carbs, cut back on the carbs as we increase our cardio. Yes. We also think about having like an open face sandwich. So what I mean by an open face sandwich is, you know, sandwich, bread on top, bread on the bottom. Let's take away the bread on top and have a sandwich. Now, when I say open face sandwich, we're cutting a slice of bread out. I'm not saying have 2 sandwiches that don't have tops. No. We want to completely take away 1 slice of the bread and have our sandwich on 1 slice of bread. Yeah, let's do that. Again, Instagram worthy, because I know it's all about that IG. I know it's all about taking them pictures. I know it's all about growing your likes. Yes. So when you do an open face sandwich, it looks really cute, really pretty. So make sure you get your angles right. Yeah, let's do that. Let's also swap. When we talk about swaps, let's swap some things for cauliflower. So there's cauliflower rice, there's cauliflower crust. So when you do like a pizza or something, you can have a cauliflower crust pizza. And there's cauliflower mac and cheese. I've seen vegans make cauliflower buffalo wings. Cauliflower is so versatile. It's very good for you as well. It has packs of vitamins, minerals, essentials, things that we need, things our body needs to run on. So let's make a couple of swaps every now and then of what we can do cauliflower with. So like I said, rice, white rice, brown rice, cauliflower rice. Regular dough pizza crust, cauliflower crust. It's super thin, it tastes great, it's awesome. Yes, I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, it is a little time consuming to do a cauliflower crust, but the end result, it tastes great, and you don't mind eating a couple of slices. You don't mind indulging in it. So yeah, let's make those swaps. Like I said, cauliflower mac and cheese, cauliflower buffalo wings. We have some alternatives with cauliflower that won't break the bank, number one, which I always think is super important, but it won't weigh us down, and we're giving our body essentials and giving our body fuel to push on, to move on, to do some things. Let's also cut out, okay, I know we talked about some swaps, but let's cut completely out our ultra processed foods. And you're like, what's an ultra processed food? Your fast foods. That has been through so much before it is served to you with somebody with a half-cocked smile. Let's just get rid of it altogether. So them chicken nuggets, get rid of that. Them burgers, the beef patty don't even look like beef. Let's get rid of that. We want to get rid of these processed foods and get as natural as possible. So what we want to do is eat tons of fruits, tons of vegetables, things like that our body needs to function on, that's going to make us feel good. It's going to carry us in our journey and make us yeah, when you eat fruits and vegetables, it's just like you still feel good. Like after you finish eating, you can get up, you can do some things. But when you're eating those ultra processed foods, they sit on you and they make you get sluggish and slow. So let's get rid of that altogether. We also want to, here's another swap. Let's eat some crudité instead of crackers. So when you're having your hummus and your crackers, let's get some crudité. Yes, it's a very fancy word, but it's just like a veggie platter. So when you're serving your your carrot slices and your celery slices, and maybe some tomatoes, because that's what a lot of veggie platters have. They have like tomatoes. That's a crudité platter. Yes, that's a fancy way to say it. So let's get some crudité and dip that in your hummus. Hummus is great. Of course, I said it in the store, but it's super easy to make. All you need is some tahini, which I know you're like, what the frick is tahini? Tahini is ground up sunflower seeds. So if you can find some sunflower seeds, grind it up. That's tahini. You need some tahini. You need some olive oil, and some chickpeas. A can of chickpeas doesn't cost, what, $1.50. Drain the water off of it. Throw that in the blender, throw it in your food processor, throw your tahini in, tahini ground out with sunflower seeds. Throw that in there, throw some olive oil, season it how you want, salt, pepper, paprika, make it your own, make it special, make it fabulous, and bang, you got hummus. Now that you got this great old thing of hummus, bowl of hummus, platter of hummus, however you want to put it down, add some vegetables around it and you can dip. Dip and eat, dip and eat. This is a great snack to have. Whether it's just you at the house or you're entertaining guests, this is great to have. People love it. And you can be like, oh, I made my own hummus. People are going to think you're amazing. You made your own hummus? What? Yes, yes. People are going to think you're fabulous. I'm telling you. Not only am I giving you tips to transform, but I'm telling you how to make people impressed with you. And go ahead and Instagram that too. Take the pictures, get your angles right. Homemade hummus. Caption that. Hit you, I don't know what you want to do. Hit with some hashtags. Homemade hummus. This is what I do. Cook for life. Cooking is good. Food porn. I don't know. You just make it your own. But here we go, some more tips and tricks, easy ways to get back in it. All right, what else we want to do? We want to use a thinner crust. So we all have our guilty pleasures. I know I do. I'm trying very hard to get out of them. But if you don't want to go the cauliflower crust way, because I told you it is a little time consuming, and we'll get into how to make cauliflower crust. I'll do, like I said, I'm adding some things. That's going to be one of the things. We're going to make cauliflower crust together. And it's a little, well, it's not a little time consuming. It is a lot time consuming. It's time consuming to make cauliflower crust. But the end result is completely, totally, and utterly worth it. But if you don't feel like you have the time to make cauliflower crust, go for a thin crust. Remember we were talking about doing thin buns, thin rolls, thin bagels? Let's go for a thin crust when you're having your pizza. So yeah, I love veggie pizza. That's like, hey, I'm eating pizza, but it's veggie pizza, so it's not that bad. But if I feel the need to have a piece of pizza, let me go for a thin crust pizza. Not something that's super doughy. Definitely not a Chicago deep dish, but a nice thin crust pizza. Once in a while, especially if I've been doing super good, I'm on track, I'm seeing some progress, and it's like, dang, I really want a slice, I'll have a thin crust. Why not? Because the thing is, when you start to deprive yourself of things and be like, I'm not eating, I can't have it like that, it gets in your mind, and that's all you think about, that's all you want. And that's how the binge starts. Like, let's talk about it. That's how the binge starts. It goes from one thing to another, to another, to another. So if you feel the need to have a pizza, have a slice, make it a thin slice. There we go. And last but not least, let's try something super different, and let's try sweet potato toast. Yeah. I know avocado toast is super popular. There are stores and shops that sell only avocado toast, and they're charging you freaking $5 to $7 for a slice of toast with some avocado on it. That's beyond wild. Let's get way more creative, do it in our home, save our money, and let's do sweet potato toast. And what's wrong about sweet potato toast? Because I'm not talking about making bread that's made out of sweet potatoes. No, I'm talking about getting your sweet potato, slicing it, whole slicing it thinly. Well, not that thin, but thinly, maybe about that big, that thick. You bake it for a little bit. because we want to make it edible. So you throw some olive oil, throw some salt, some pepper, bake it, and now you can put the avocados on it. You can put whatever topping, you know, that you want to make your toast out of. So if you're going to do avocado toast with peppers and tomatoes, do that on top of a sweet potato. When I tell you that is so good and so healthy for you, and all the carbs and fats that you're consuming, your body's using to function and fuel and keep going, your body's going to be on thank you. That's another thing we'll get into a little bit later when we're doing our cooking segments. We're going to make some sweet potato toast. So this way you have an idea of how it's done and how it works, and you're totally, utterly, completely going to love it. So let's do a little recap of ways to cut the carbs, part 2. We are going to go with thin buns, thin rolls, thin bagels. You know, if we do have to have a burger and we don't want to use lettuce, we're going to use a thin bun. If we want to have a bagel and, you know, we want to do a little smear of cream cheese, we're going to have a thin bagel. We want to do an open face sandwich because taking off one slice of bread cuts a lot of carbs. We want to swap things out for cauliflower. So instead of having white rice, we want to have cauliflower rice. Instead of having regular doughy pizza crust, we want to have cauliflower crust. We also want to cut completely out the ultra processed foods, and I'm talking about the chicken nuggets, I'm talking about the burgers, the fast food burgers. Let's get rid of all that. We want to eat a little crudité. What is crudité, you ask? Crudité is your veggies. So that's going to be your carrot sticks, your celery sticks, a little cauliflower heads, the grape tomatoes. That's what we're talking about with crudité. And we're going to make some hummus with it. Yeah, we're going to make homemade hummus now because, you know, we got it like that. You know, we're part of this world now. We're making our own hummus. Yes. We're also going to go for a thinner crust. So those times where we just feel we have to have a slice of pizza, we're going to go for a thin crust pizza. And then, because we're super innovative and we're about this life, we're going to have sweet potato crust. So forget about that avocado toast. That is so passe. We're now doing sweet potato toast because we're about this life. This is what we do. We have it all figured out. So we came up and we thought of sweet potato toast. It's so much better for us. And this is how you present it to your friends. Like it was completely, totally, utterly your idea. That's what I want you to do. They're like, yes, you know, I was just thinking. Sweet potato has so much good for me. It's such a healthy carb. And why not add some avocados, which is a great healthy fat. Bam, put the two together. It's delicious. That's how you present it to people, like it's your own. Okay. We talked about a lot. I've given you a lot to go over, a lot to think of, some creative ways. I know you're just thinking and you're running with it. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.